Welcome back to another Sunday walk video. It's looking beautiful out, and it's looking beautiful once again for Bitcoin crypto, and it's looking like it's going to be even more beautiful this coming week. So there's a lot to talk about and a lot to expect, so really get ready and strap on because it's looking like it's going to be a really good week. First of all, as I'm filming this, Bitcoin's hanging around 104. This whole weekend, it's been hanging around 104. This past week, obviously, we had a really good week. Bitcoin breaking above 100,000 once again, and just slowly climbing up and hanging around right around 104. So we're only like 5,000 points away, $5,000 away from our previous high of 109. So it does look like just a little push. A little push, we'll be right there, 109, 110. And once we get there, it looks like we are ready for that next level. The next level does look like it's going to be somewhere between 120 to 140. That's what it looks like. Anywhere between 120 to 140, somewhere probably around there. And I do think that's about right. If you think about it, you know, we've been going down in this downtrend for about 3 to 4 months, right? And generally speaking, when we do consolidate and go sideways or go downtrend for about a quarter, more than a quarter, that's when things come back to life. And especially since there's I guess macro hope now that's helping the situation as well. So I think this week could be really good for Bitcoin. I think not only do we see, and we'll see tonight too, Asia might wake up and just say, hey, we're going to buy. We have seen Asia do a lot of buying recently. So tonight we may even just hit all-time high again, or previous high, and break through. So let's see. But I think this week will be absolutely fantastic. We'll break through and start heading towards that next leg, and we'll see where we end up. I think this is the week that starts it. Those of you guys that have been patient and been hodling and DCAing, you'll be rewarded. But not only that, last week, of course, we saw a huge surge with a lot of alts, and that's a good thing because we know Bitcoin is strong. We know Bitcoin's gonna come back. I know most of us do, and I focus mostly on Bitcoin. I tell you guys to stay strong and just read the room. Look at all the institutions and the countries and companies that are FOMOing in. Bitcoin is limited. There's only so much to go around. And when these big boys are buying billions upon billions every single week, you know it's going to come back and go up, right? But a lot of you guys were very, very discouraged over the last few months over alts. It's understandable. Alts are just not as strong. Retail, not buying the billions upon billions every week. So last week was a really good reminder of what altcoin season could be like. So even ETH, a lot of you guys very, very down on ETH. ETH was below 1,500 the week before. This week broke above 2,500, went up over 30% this week. And we had a lot of others, like even memes, right? Even like Doge went up over 30%. And a lot of memes, like the smaller memes, what is it, like Mog and Peanut and all these others that I have not been following, man, some of them went up like 50, 60, 70, 100%, 150%. A lot of them went up like crazy. Even Pepe went up like crazy. It's a big cap meme. And it went up, I think, like 70% this past week. So I know a lot of degens felt really good, but also a lot of serious coins, serious projects went up. Sui the prior week before had a 70+% week. This last week slowed down a little bit, still like up like 20 something percent. You had all the major big caps like XRP, Cardano, Hedera, Chainlink, Avalanche, you know, all the ones I've been talking about, they all went up big way, double digits, 10, 15, 20, 30%. Solana in there too. Solana, although slower, kind of weird because all the memes came back, right? Even like the DEXs like Radium, Jupiter, Uniswap, a lot of the ETH-based stuff like Uniswap had a big week. Even what is it? Ooh, like Curve, Aerodrome, a lot of the L2s. I saw Aptos. You know, they all exploded back up. So last week was just good, but Solana, I think, is going to get their turn. They went up, but they didn't go up nearly as much as the others. Kind of weird, but I think they're going to catch up. But we also had, you know, a lot of the other L1s that kind of, you know, forgotten, like some of the Cosmos ones. Like a lot of you guys talked about Injective having a good week. I covered Say, and Say had a tremendous week, almost 70%. So overall, it's just a really good week for alts. It's a good reminder of what altcoin season will be like. Again, I don't think this altcoin season will be like the previous ones. Obviously, even with yesterday's rally, or I mean last week's rally, alts are nowhere close to the previous high back in like December or January. Got a long ways to go, but the best way to think about it is it's still time to DCA because Bitcoin is already near all-time high, right? So a lot of you guys may be wondering, oh, is it too late to DCA? First of all, no, because we will break through the previous high and go up higher. But second of all, most of the alts are nowhere close to their previous high, so there's still opportunity there, right? Overall, opportunities everywhere. So what prompted last week's sudden surge? Well, it was because we got the news that the US made a big deal with the UK, the very first trade agreement. Even though it was very one-sided, very lopsided towards the US side, nevertheless, it prompted a whole lot of enthusiasm. Basically, traders and markets around the world is now coming to the realization that, hey, despite all the threats, all the tariffs, there could be a world where this is, I don't know, a normal thing, a normalized thing, or this is the new reality, and the US may get what they want, which is more and fairer trade. So basically, that's why US markets rallied, Bitcoin crypto rallied. That was a major reason. But other reasons, Bitcoin always trails the money supply. We saw both the US and China inject liquidity. The global liquidity has been going up, and it was about time Bitcoin went up. And again, more and more people are turning to Bitcoin as a store of value. So that's another reason too. So overall, there's just a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons why we went up, but mostly it was due to the trade thing, the trade deal happening. So there's that. Now, as for this week, there's something brewing that's even bigger, because out of this weekend, it was announced that the US, China had a really good 2-day discussion in Geneva. Okay. It was reported that both sides had a really good talk. Percent said that it was very encouraging. It almost sounded like a deal was done. No details have been released, but we all know both sides want to get something done. So if you look at the futures market right now for markets tomorrow, very green. So basically this is like the ultimate catalyst, right? If we get any kind of deal going, it's going to cause markets to jump. It's what caused markets to come down in the first place. So any kind of deal will cause markets to jump up once again. So this is very good. And even if the deal is bad, at least it gives us some clarity, because what's holding Powell and the Fed back is clarity. They can't do anything without clarity, like in terms of, okay, what the deal is, what's going to happen, etc., etc. At least they can make some forecasts and projections. Right now, there's just nothing, right? So even if a deal is bad, which I don't think it will be, at least we get something, right? So who knows? I don't know if it's something big will be announced this week, maybe not, but it did sound like at least both sides did have a good discussion, and that is encouraging. So there's that. So that could drive things higher. We will get another inflation reading, CPI inflation reading this week. Now it'll be interesting. I don't know if the tariff, if it's including pre or post tariffs, because all the inflation readings from last month still were pre-tariff era. So this one may be the very first post-tariff inflation reading. And if it shows inflation going up in a big way, then obviously it's due to the tariffs, but it may not be. There's usually a lag. However, even if it does show inflation going up, it may be a catalyst for Bitcoin anyways, because now many people are turning to Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. So it may actually help Bitcoin regardless. And if Bitcoin goes up, then it pumps up crypto anyway, so it'd be a good thing. So that's the only big economic thing I see this week, besides if there's a trade agreement that's going to come out. There's also earnings. I think like Home Depot and Walmart is going to be reporting, so they might report good quarters, but just like everyone else that reported so far, they're probably going to say forecast is, mixed, or they're not going to give forecasts because they can't give adequate predictions about what's to come because of all tariffs, right? So that's not going to be a surprise. We already heard from many companies say the same thing. So I don't think earnings going to be too unexpected. But overall, the way Bitcoin is moving, I think this could be an absolutely huge week. I think this week could be a week we finally break through our previous high. It's been many months now. I think this week we finally break through previous high and head towards that next leg. I show you guys a lot of charts. All the time. And a lot of charts indicate that we are ready for that next leg, right? And that next leg is between 120 and 140. And once we hit it, we'll probably stay there for a little bit, and we may be there for months, and then we wait for that quantitative easing to hit, and then that's when we make that next leg up. So bull run is definitely not over. Some people thought the bull run was over. It's silly, right? Now that we're sitting at 104, those of you guys that thought the bull run was over, do you feel silly now? Do you feel how silly you feel thinking that the bull run was over? I always told you guys how quickly things can turn, and look at where we are now, right? And look at how good last week was. And I think this week will be the same. I think this week will be good. It'll be very good. And if Bitcoin hits a new high, get ready. The alts will do really well once again. All the L1s and L2s will do well. the degen plays will probably do even better. And I say it's about time. Is again, we had what, 3 or 4 months of sideways or downwards movement. It was harsh, it was depressing, but at the very least we had ample time to DCA, to accumulate, and now we are being rewarded. That's really it. Best way to think about it. All right, that's pretty much it. Don't have a lot more to say. I'm really looking forward to this week. I think this week will be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. I think tonight Asia could be good. Wait, it says microphone blocked. I think tonight we'll see if Asia FOMOs in. We have seen many times where Asia FOMOs in. Tonight Asia may FOMO in, and if so, that's a precursor to what's going to happen tomorrow in America. But I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. So that's it. All right, guys, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, see you guys later. Bye-bye.